Good morning. Welcome to Satsang. Let's say a word about incarnation. Carnation means, in Latin, flesh, meat. In. One entered into a flesh. So incarnations happen only in the mind, when you go in the mind. You are incarnated. What more? And a life, incarnated life, brings a luggage with it. It looks like we are not born virgins. And that is going on. It's all the life, all the, how we say, the karmas, the actions, reactions, consequences, and all that. Now, when one gets self-knowledge, means when suddenly he has really seen that in fact all what he knows and feels and sense is the mind. And if he can see that there must be a place from where he sees that which is not in the feeling, in the knowledge, when that self-knowledge spontaneously, after maybe a very long search, but as it comes spontaneously, suddenly, clear, it can happen in an incarnation. It does happen in an incarnation. So what's the difference between one who is incarnated and doesn't care about all those questions, or one who cares, who realized what I just said? When you know who you are, and don't fix yourself on the word knowledge, the search of the meaning, of the search of who you are, all that disappears. But it is not a state, an experience that you acquire. So in the life, it's very important to leave space to that aliveness, that remembrance. And that makes the whole difference, because karmas otherwise are anyway going on. Maybe they exhaust themselves, maybe they produce more. I am not studying that. That doesn't change. But what changes is, I repeat myself, is the knowledge that everything comes from what I am, in fact. And what I am, the mind surrendered, they will never know it. But I am it. So in that way, that life, which are still karma to be burned and all that, has a change because of those moments alone, without incarnations, are given. And they must be offered here and there to your life, because it is, I insist, it's not an accomplishment once for all. So, in that way, the life is the same and the life is very different. If you don't give space in your life, even if you have seen who you are, if you don't give space here and there to that, it will become an information, a memory, which will fade away at some point. So, having this kind of life, one has to dedicate some moments to it, to make it prior to the memory, to make it real. Anyway, any question about that? Any doubt about your search? About your understanding? Welcome. Yeah. Hi, Paula.
It has to, I have something to say. It has to do maybe with that, but it's started something to come up a few satsang ago. You started the satsang. As what I heard is there is no satsang without sanga. And
No expressed satsang without sangha. Yeah.
what?
No expressed satsang. There is no words.
Okay. And I'm thankful for so many things to you and to this group also.
Yeah.
And I love to be here, and it's not a group in a normal way, but it's somehow we are here together in this. And then came a lot, and then when you said this, a lot of anger came, and it's like I could be quiet with it, and it came again and again and again.
But towards what, anger?
Towards things that happen between us here that
Okay,
are unacceptable for me,
Yeah, okay.
and unneeded or necessary.
A group, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just, see, this is...
I understand. I know that, you know. You know, whatever group is there, you call it whatever, but also a sangha, it's the world. Huh? It's the world. If the sangha, if the member of the sangha is not, didn't give the background of his life to this purpose, So all the relations will be like in the world. Yet, why are we together for this extremely strange, uncatchable subject? Sure. But of course, if you expect that the group will be more humanly behaving and all that, I think it's just a failure.
I don't expect that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here for many years, and there was always some things going on. I was never disturbed, and the last years I was anyway too busy to bother with that. But I must say something. When it gets over the edge, it stinks the whole room, and that's what I see, and that's what I feel, and I have to deal with that.
So never forget why you are in this group. You know, there is not a particular way also to be in a sangha. One can be completely by himself also, or have his own natural friends and all that. I think we are together, especially for satsang, for maybe some celebrations towards that, and the rest, that's really up to you. Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to say this. Maybe it's a doubt, but I really have to put it
Don't
like
be
this.
sorry. I think everybody had to face that or does face that. That's why I had to mention the spirit of the Sanga, you see, a few days back. I have no recipe, actually. I have no recipe about that. You know, in the end, the satsang that you needed so much, maybe it made its work and you became quiet about the subject, even though I don't speak of the life now, but you. And so, of course, even if you come to satsang and you keep quiet, I may also keep quiet. Because from myself, I have nothing much to say. And it looks like I am very talkative if it is provoked. You see? So, I mean, by that, you have to live according to your essentiality, wherever you are. When I was with Papaji, it was me who was the Sangha, me and Mukti, for many years. So actually I had not that problem. Later there was a sangha, yeah. What? Where I didn't belong so much, actually. What to say?
Thank you, Ganga.
Please. I don't think I solved anything, but you know, in India, the culture is such that when those who dedicate their life for to know what's the divine or who am I and all that, they have a place. They are respected, and that's why there are many pilgrimages place where they can be by themselves, but they are not alone. Or they belong to a sect without the negative word of that, but different groups. In the West, if you are alone, because you are not interested in relationships of any group, you are really alone. Maybe it's all right, but you don't have the cocoon of that outside. So in that way, a sangha is normally a group who, of course, they have a life, but personal life, but when they are together, at least dedicate some time to speak about that or to keep quiet together, and they know why. Yeah. Why we all came to Alfambra, even though the ocean is beautiful, you know, but it was first because of Satsang. So what was the spirit? There was a fire to move from a country just to this unknown place, and who cared because there was Satsang. So that spirit has to stay, has to be kept. Otherwise, it happens what happens. Why people are so much drawn to Tiruvannamalai, for example. Of course, because Ramana is there, etc. But also because there is a Sangha, a group, a huge international group loving Ramana, and every day together at different times, but I mean they dedicated time to Ramana. Here is every day, without even the satsang, do each one dedicate a moment to that? That's the question. If not, it's not a sangha. Yeah. Some have an ashram for that, so they are more reminded. some have a temple, and some have a beach. Not necessarily to chat and all that, but just because it reminds one why he's here. You see, when I was living with Papaji, it's not that we were all the time speaking about that, but his silence or just his presence, I was respecting because I knew when he's by himself, he's absorbed into that. And that was enough. That's a full satsang in itself. We don't need always to bring something to speak about. I think in the West it's not very known, but it has to be known if you come to satsang. It has to. It has to become natural that it is this way. I received today, something that I get from Papaji, just to show you something, because it reminded me something great. You will not see well, but it doesn't matter. There was a text, we don't care about the text just now. There is a photo. I remember very well, I was with Mukti in Hardwar, and the Ganga, Master was sitting there and the Ganga flows there. And we spend our lives like this. When he was just sitting, it was just sitting. But it's not like your friend sits, it doesn't say anything. You know very well where he is. So life is like that. Don't look always to a man or to a woman. Just look where they abide. That is the teaching.
It just reminds me one day someone asked you, what was it for you when you were the wife of Papaji? And your answer really struck me. You said, he never let me forget that I am the self.
Sure, and he never made me believe I was his wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. No, but I was. That's what Sanga is.
Yes.
No? Sanga
yes.
is. They never let you forget.
Yes.
It's really so. Yeah.
Or we speak of incarnations, and there you are father, mother, wife, and husband, or child. Or, but you meet a master for what? To speak of what? Of that? No, that the myriads of people are there to speak about that. So the master about this subject is the one who reminds you something else. Yes. Otherwise, what? It will not be the eyes which will show you. It will not be the mind nor the senses. But you came to that place because something else that you don't know, a fire, something, pushed you to go to see something else, but not with your eyes, not with your senses, and not with your mind. That has to be kept alive. Why there is photos of Ramana, of Papaji and all in the houses. It's not because he's the most beautiful man or whatever. It's because it's just that you cherished so much, that made you know him. Papaji said to me, I didn't come to you because you are the most beautiful woman in the world, but I loved your fire. Your fire attracted me. It has to be like this. That's a sangha.
So I'm speaking now for my deepest fear, and I just repeat myself constantly. And as a human being, I'm still suffering, because I could not give to you everything. So I still hold something, and that's why I can't take what you give to me, and it's such a fear. I should give
Is
everything.
there anything to
My
fear?
life, my
I
body.
don't want your life. What do you speak about?
I can't describe it better.
Just keep quiet.
I explain it. If it's a feeling, if I would stay in the supermarket where I have to pay, and I have to pay with everything to. Is it too much to say it?
But when I ask you now, you keep quiet. Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? That's the price. Is it difficult to keep quiet just now? Then why you make it complicated afterwards? The mind will invent anything. Don't listen. The mind invents so many images, you see. Oh, I have to jump from this cliff. I have to go to the other side of this monstrous river. I have to... All those things we think we have to do. While we just have to keep quiet because there is no bank, no river, and no rocks. It was invented by the mind. If you want to know what's your real nature. The mind will never, ever enter here. Let him do any gymnastic, it will never enter here. whatever is felt through the life, it's in the incarnation. And that. But once you know, I am not the body. In fact, I am not the body. It's an incarnation. It's a movie, an expression of that itself. You don't suffer less. And still, you know it's samsara. What do you expect from samsara after all? It's all foolish, misleading expectation that the life will become a heaven. I tell you, paradise, even if you agree intellectually that there is no paradise on earth, I tell you that archetype is so rooted in the mind that everybody wants paradise. Of course. But paradise means there is a hell also then. Samsara is samsara. It doesn't mean you have to forget who you are. So samsara will bite this incarnation. Sure, it will bite. Who can pretend has not been bitten by samsara? It bites, but it's in the flesh, in the emotions, and in the concepts. Sure. That's why you see, you have to give moments of not being with the incarnation, so that your life is coated by this which is what you are. And then of course you are bitten, you are this and that, but you know what's what. You know what's what. Even if you suffer, you know what's what. Don't be foolish to think I forgot myself because I suffer. It has to be clear, crystal clear, and it can be just now.
Excuse me, I have to,
Tell.
because this is, I think, clear for me. It's a very deep knowing in me, but I know I'm not this body, but it's just knowledge.
But that's why I say make it not only a knowledge.
That's why I say, what should I pay for that?
To keep quiet. That's the price for you. You know what it means to keep quiet? Don't grasp but.
on your birthday we were singing Jai Ganga Mira, and it repeated itself in my mind for some time after. And then when that went, it also left me at a proper place, because it was not something that I objectified.
Yeah.
And then I saw in that moment that, because I've been chanting many times before, but I always chanted with a belief to melt or to reach or to... And I saw that this start with this belief never gave me the possibility to just end where it started. So it is amazing that because we start something with, we want a result, so we get a result. And if it is without an object and you just, it leaves you where you started, it's amazing to see the difference.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Where are you?
There is a sentence coming to me. I don't know if I can explain.
Or do you dare to go to a sentence when I ask you to keep quiet? Or do you dare?
I keep quiet while I am shouting.
Nonsense. It's nonsense. Okay.
I actually think that in religion it works the same, because I went with Easter to church, and I think 300 people are asking or singing to end the suffering. They're reaching out to Jesus to help them to end their suffering, but no one is taking a moment to accept the fact that it's already taken away from them by what they are, and it's so interesting to see that.
You will see more things, yeah.
Huh? Yeah. It's amazing. Striking to see that.
I'm very happy that you have something to say.
Do you have an idea how it is possible that so many people feel attractive to a place where they long to be saved by someone and wish to be free, but then they don't accept the fact that they are free already?
What should I explain?
Do you have an idea why so many people
Because they
feel...
listen to their mind.
Yeah, but there is an attraction to
Yes,
be
there
free
is.
because they
But the
go
price to pay
yeah,
is not to listen to the
and they
mind.
don't do that. Yeah. It's amazing.
It will be hard to stop you speaking now. But it's beautiful. At least you have experiences. Some people, they never say a word, which I don't believe too. I love silence, but there are different kinds of silence. Not to say ever anything, it's not normal. At least once every 10 years you have to say something. Otherwise you don't live anything. You see, what you say, there are no revelation. It's just because from where you are you see things. It's very different than those who speak out of revelation and they think they're more enlightened, more they know revelations and so on. That's still part of a search. So, everything looks the same but may not be from the same spot. All the scriptures, I think, all what has been written about the subject is just because they see in, they could not help to express what they see. What it's not like they are, it's they express what they can know. It's not that they are more enlightened, understanding what they express. They don't need the expression, but they can't help. Some people are very talkative. Would you say so? Then you have to say yes in Sanskrit at least.
No, but I have an image.
Okay.
It's when you see Dakshinamurti.
You may tell who is Dakshinamurti.
Yeah, okay. Well, Dakshinamurti is the one can say the first teacher, and his name, it's also a beautiful name. He's facing south.
Mm-hmm.
The one who faces south is Dakshinamurti because
Oh.
because the disciples are facing north, and north attracts, and north is liberation, and the south it's because it represents the death. So the one who has crossed death, he
Oh my
faces south.
God.
And it's and he's always presented with these 4 disciples.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they face north or south?
no, they face north. They face
Towards him.
towards him.
All their life they will be like this?
And sometimes he's silent.
Ah.
Sometimes he speaks. Some people think that he never speaks,
Yeah.
which is not true. He speaks, but what the meaning of his words are not that direct meaning of words. It's where the words left the one who listens.
Yeah, you mean the silent spoke.
Yes, the
Yeah.
silence spoke. But either silence or the words are there because the disciples are there.
Ah.
Otherwise,
There will always be one. Ah. But some who didn't have disciples, then they start to be a bit cuckoo, like they dance in ecstasy by themselves, or they just speak and people say, oh look, this is the mad one. And so, it's funny. There are many, that's in India they say all kinds of. And it's true, it's like that. So it's good to have one at least so that we don't become like a divine mad one. So, Odot is there? Yeah? Wow.
Thank you. Um, Keeping quiet.
Keeping quiet is not a sentence.
No.
It's an order. So, the teaching of keeping quiet. What do you ask about that?
So right. So there's spotting this this almost unbearable ongoing contraction, which
Hungarian?
oh maybe some.
What did you say?
Unbearable.
Unbearable.
It could be Hungarian. It could well be.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a contraction where?
It's the mind is
Okay.
constantly in that, and I know and I'm keeping quiet with that.
Then who has the contraction? If you keep quiet, where is the contraction? To whom? It's not at the same time. Or you keep quiet, or you are in the contraction, Hungarian contraction.
It is happening at the same time, though. It is happening at the same time.
No.
No.
Impossible. How can it happen at the same time? If it was happening at the same time as it can, you would not ask a question. So what you speak about cannot happen at the same time. You may be a witness. Maybe you confuse keeping quiet to be a witness. But that's still in the mind. Yeah. That's why it can eventually speak like this. Yeah. If you really keep quiet, you don't even keep the witness. Then can you say anything? Afterwards, the Hungarian contraction may arise, but then it's afterwards. But you know it's the mind. So, you know it's the mind.
Yeah, and so...
What you want to solve?
I think I want to solve the part that wants to not touch that anymore. Not touch, like the part that
But
leaves
you
it
have
alone.
to admit that it may still appear and disappear. So you have just to know, I am not that. In fact, I am not that. Alone. Is this body and whole system that has that experience. But if I want to speak from where I am not that. It happens to this. Only then you can keep quiet.
So that clarity comes first, that clarity, and then that I'm not that.
needs to be.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to realize who you are. Because it's not that you will change this manifestation necessarily, but you know who you are and you know where things happen, to what. And you are already that, you see. But this mind, if you listen to it, it's in time, so it will always put it farther. One day, tomorrow, when I go back home where I'm more quiet or whatever. These are nonsense. To keep quiet means just be yourself for a second. You don't listen to your mind. That means keeping quiet. Huh? And that can be done anywhere just now. Just now. How can you search that? It's just now. The search is in the mind. The mind is time and space. Who are you? Who are you? I am that. Tell it. Yeah. Tell it so that the mind gets a bit surrendering. Even if you don't feel it, tell it. I am that. And then because you don't lie telling that. You lie, you feel you lie when you don't experience it in the mind. It's all fake. You will not experience it in the mind. So you don't lie. I am that. Oh, if you look at but I am I'm not some said today. What? I am that. Let the mind be in such a way. Doesn't matter. Enough to be enslaved to the mind. Don't worry. In time we will be anyway with the mind. But we can still moments. And those moments are always available. So it's not like it is translated in the mind, oh, just a moment only, but I want all my life like that. This is bullshit. The mind cannot understand that. So those conclusions are fake. The life is samsara. The life. But it's my freedom not to constantly, continuously be in my mind, in the samsara. That's what Satsang tries to tell. In time and space, samsara. No doubt about it. It's not about that. It's about knowing what's the background. It's a way to say, I don't know even if it is a good way to say, but something is still there even when I see I am not this body, not this mind. And so that keeps me quiet. It's an indication. That's our birthright. That's why those who come to satsang runs after. They want to be that for themselves. They want that. Because you are it. So just hear it once. Be reminded. That's all which is needed. Huh? One has not to learn anything. One has just needs to hear once, to hear. Don't listen to the mind, and that will be enough. And if and but which appears, they will not be taken, because one has finally heard it's the mind. You have not to learn anything. Just hear that. It may take time, but once you hear, you hear. And that's it. Nothing else to learn. You have not to learn how you are, what it is. You have not to learn. Just hear. Don't think, then it will be obvious. Now you may take years to know what's the mind. Doesn't matter. Once you will really know. And it can be just now. Because it doesn't depend on a learning. Where are you?
Now you remind me, there's a dialogue between one king, not very known, Ajata Shatruhu, and Gargya. He's a Brahman and he comes to the king to teach him, to teach him this. Well, he has lots of revelations to tell about it.
Okay.
And every time he starts telling something which is amazing, the king tells him, Masam Vadishtaha, don't talk me about it. That I already know. So he goes on and on. At some point, this Brahmana becomes desperate because the king seems to know everything he knows.
Mm-hmm.
So the king tells him, through that, you won't know Brahman. So the Brahmana asks him, so then how to know?
Mm.
And after a somehow big chapter telling about lots of things, Atha Adeshaha, the king says, this is the teaching, neti neti. Nahi etasmat param anyat nasti, because there's nothing greater than this.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. It's beautiful. And it was written long ago, huh? Yeah, very good. And this neti has also to be applied to the silence. Because you can be silent because you're not busy with your mind, but you can be silent in the mind too, thinking, no, I am nearer myself because I'm silent. So neti neti, really, radically neti neti. It's so true. The silence is such a spiritual, rotten gift. No, but it's true. You have people like this, they are just quiet and they think. I prefer they say they're garbage. At least they know, oh, I'm telling garbage. Than that to keep in fake silence. It's such a lie. The spiritual silence is a lie. When you are really silent, you are busy with yourself. That's real silence. Busy. And it looks you are silent. Hello. Good. Goodbye. Thank you.